This chapter deals with the details of the various steps involved in the process of respiration in plants. Though respiration is a common process which occurs in all living organisms, but this chapter is basically dealing with details of the processes in plants. Plants show only aerobic respiration, whereas other organisms like microbes may show anaerobic respiration also. In human beings, basically all cells show aerobic respiration, but there are few cells like skeletal muscles when there is the scarcity of oxygen, it may revert to anaerobic respiration, that is lactic acid fermentation, which we will deal in this chapter also. So let's study the details of respiration in plants. These are the topics we will deal in this chapter. First topic is, do plants breathe? Then we will study the details of the respiration process, beginning with glycolysis, followed by fermentation. Then we will study the details of aerobic respiration, and after that we will study the respiratory balance sheet. How do we calculate the number of ATPs produced in respiration? Then we will throw some light on amphibolic pathway. It is generally believed that the respiration is a catabolic pathway, but now the paradigm has shifted. Now it is considered that respiration is an amphibolic pathway. We will study what does it mean, and then we will study about the respiratory quotient. Now the first concept is the definition of respiration. Respiration is the biochemical process in which the cells of an organism obtain energy by combining oxygen and glucose, resulting in the release of carbon dioxide, water, and ATP, which is the currency of energy in cells. Living organisms require energy, which is used for various life processes. So, energy required comes from the oxidation of the macromolecules, which is the food. Green plants and cyanobacteria, we know they are autotrophs, whereas animals, they are heterotrophs, whereas saprophytes, they are decomposers. In green plants, both photosynthesis as well as respiration takes place. What is the difference? Photosynthesis we have already studied. It occurs in chloroplast, which has got chlorophyll, which basically absorbs the solar energy, whereas respiration of molecules to yield energy generally takes place in cytoplasm followed by mitochondria. The compounds used in respiration are called respiratory substrates, which may be carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and organic acid. The most favored respiratory substrate is carbohydrate. Why it is so? That also we will study in respiratory quotient. Next is oxidation. The stepwise reaction which is controlled by enzymes releases the trapped energy, chemical energy, that is ATP. This is actually the respiration. It differs from combustion, because in combustion it is a one step reaction, whereas respiration is a stepwise reaction. ATP, which is energy currency, is the key factor here. Carbon skeleton produced during respiration is basically released as byproduct. So, when we study about the respiration in plants, we should know that the requirement of energy in plants and animals is very different. In animals, the energy requirement is very high. Therefore, animals have specific respiratory organs, whereas plants do not require energy in large amount. So, they do not have specific respiratory organs. The exchange of gases is just done by simple structures called stomata and lenticels. Reasons you can see why plants don't need respiratory organs. First, each plant takes part takes care of its own gas exchange needs. There is very little transport of gases from one plant part to another. So, there is no conduction required. Second, plants do not present great demand for gas exchange. Respiration in plants is far low than animal. So, O2 requirement will be met by photosynthesis, whereas O2 is actually the byproduct. Third, diffusion of gases is less in requirement. Living cells located close to the surface of the plants, that is thick woody stems, they are very they do not require much energy. Living cells are organized as thin layers beneath the bark, which has got the opening called lenticels. So most of the cells or the parts are in direct contact with the air. So loose packing of parenchyma cells also helps in the transportation of oxygen. So it does not require any specific respiratory organs. There is a very fine interconnected network of air spaces already present in the plant tissues. Now let's come to the biochemical reactions, which actually sums up the complete process of respiration. You can see one molecule of glucose, when it reacts with 6 molecules of oxygen, it will produce 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 6 molecules of water, and energy. This is also the similar reaction for combustion. So catabolism is basically taking place. Catabolism of glucose here involves several small steps, and energy released is coupled to synthesize ATP. All organisms they show oxidation of glucose. It actually involves an enzymatic machinery which partially oxidizes glucose without the help of oxygen, and the first product produced in this breakdown is pyruvic acid, and this process is called glycolysis. So glycolysis is a common process in all types of respiration, be it the aerobic respiration or anaerobic respiration, which may be alcoholic fermentation or lactic acid fermentation. So, glycolysis has to be there in all the types of respirations. Now, let's study the details of glycolysis. As the word suggests, the lysis is a Greek word which means glycose for sugar and lysis for splitting. So, we in this process, glucose is splitted into smaller components. We know that glucose has 6 molecules of carbon. This pathway was explained by 3 scientists. That's why it is called as EMP pathway. EMP, E stands for Amden. It is the name of first scientist Gustav Amden. We take E here. And M stands for Otto Meyerhof. M. And P stands for J. Parnas. Therefore, this is also called as EMP pathway. In anaerobic organism, It is the only process in respiration which occurs in cytoplasm. The glucose undergoes partial oxidation to form two molecules of pyruvic acid. The sucrose, which is stored in the carbohydrate, which is a stored carbohydrate, is also used here, and it is broken down with the help of the enzyme invertase to produce one molecule of glucose and one molecule of fructose. Both glucose and fructose, they are required in the process of, in all different steps of glycolysis. The enzyme involved here are of different categories. As I mentioned, first enzyme used is invertase. Then there are different types of kinases, it, that is hexokinase. Then there are different types of isomerase, isomerases, and then dehydrogenases. There are enolases. Okay, so there may be hexose kinases as well as pyruvate kinases. So these enzymes are required in a specific sequence. So glycolysis is a 10-step process. We will study about the 10 steps of the glycolysis. Here you can see the sequence of events taking place in the glycolysis process. Again, I am stressing that glycolysis is a 10-step process. You can see these are 10 steps. First is the glucose. Glucose gets converted to glucose 6 phosphate. Then next is fructose 6 phosphate. In both these processes, in first ATP is required. Again, fructose 6 phosphate requires ATP and converts into fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. Now this fructose 1,6 bisphosphate splits into two parts. These two parts are glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So which both are triose phosphates, and they are interconvertible, and both will undergo the further processes. Now this triose phosphate requires one molecule of NAD and gets converted to NADH and produces triose bisphosphate, that is 1,3 bisphosphoglyceric acid. Now this 1,3 bisphosphoglyceric acid gets converted to triose phosphate 3 phosphoglyceric acid, but in this process 1 ADP gets converted to ATP. Now this 3 phosphoglyceric acid, it gets converted to 2 phosphoglycerate, and this 2 phosphoglycerate gets converted to phosphoenol pyruvate, and one water molecule is released. And in the last step, the phosphoenol pyruvate requires one ADP and converts it into ATP and forms pyruvic acid. So let's see these steps one by one. First, you can see sucrose, first step, in which when the sucrose gets converted to glucose and fructose, the enzyme used is invertase, and these both the products, glucose and fructose, they enter the glycolytic pathway. Step number 2, the glucose phosphorylated to glucose 6 phosphate in presence of the enzyme called hexokinase, and 1 ATP is used. Step number 3, glucose 6 phosphate isomerizes to fructose 6 phosphate in presence of the enzyme called isomerase. Now fructose 6 phosphate converts to fructose 1,6 bisphosphate in presence of the enzyme kinase, and again ATP is used. This is the fourth process. Now, in fifth process, fructose 1,6-bisphosphate splits to dihydroxyacetone phosphate, which is a 3-carbon sugar, and 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, which is called PGAL. Again, it can isomerize between them. Now comes the sixth step. Here 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde converts to 1,3-diphosphoglyceric acid DPGA in presence of the enzyme dehydrogenase. So here 1 NAD is reduced to NADH. Now in seventh step 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid gets converted to 3-phosphoglyceric acid, and the enzyme used is kinase. Now ADP gets converted to ATP, and in eighth step 3-phosphoglyceric acid converts to 2-phosphoglyceric acid, and in step number 9 2-phosphoglyceric acid converts to phosphoenol pyruvate in presence of the enzyme enolase, and water is released out. Now in the last step, phosphoenol pyruvate gets converted to pyruvic acid in presence of the enzyme pyruvate kinase. Here also 1 ADP is also converted to ATP. Now this pyruvic acid, which is produced in the glycolysis process, its fate depends upon the further type of availability of oxygen. So there are three chances. One is lactic acid fermentation, which takes place in the lack of oxygen, which is again considered as an anaerobic process. It is also seen in certain prokaryotes and the muscles of the animals when there is scarcity of oxygen. Then second is alcoholic fermentation, where alcohol is the byproduct, which is generally done by bacteria. And third is the aerobic respiration. In first two processes, both the processes take place in the cytoplasm, whereas the aerobic respiration, which is actually the complete oxidation, is taking place in the mitochondria by another cycle called as Krebs cycle, where there is a complete oxidation of glucose, which is converted to carbon dioxide and water. We will study you can see here that there are three major ways in which different cells handle pyruvic acid produced in glycolysis. So first two processes are shown with the help of this flow chart. This flow chart shows anaerobic fermentation of pyruvic acid. First to alcohol, and in second case to lactic acid. You can see here in lactic acid fermentation, first let's see pyruvic acid converted into lactic acid. It takes place in the muscles in the aerobic condition. The reaction catalyzed by lactate dehydrogenase enzyme, and NADH is converted and reoxidized to NAD. That is lactic acid fermentation. You can see initially the step is same. The pyruvic acid produced gets converted to lactic acid. The enzyme is lactate dehydrogenase. Whereas in case of alcoholic fermentation, the pyruvic acid is getting converted to ethanol and carbon dioxide. Lactic acid is a 3 carbon acid, whereas ethanol is a alcohol having the formula C2H5OH, and 1 carbon dioxide is released out. Here also NADH is again reoxidized to NAD. So an alcoholic fermentation is also an incomplete oxidation of glucose. Then the enzyme required here are pyruvic acid decarboxylase and alcohol dehydrogenase. The energy release is less than 7% of the energy in the glucose, and therefore it is a very energy it is the process where energy production is very less and the byproduct produced is very high. You can see the yeast poisons to death when the concentration of the alcohol reaches about 13%. Therefore, in this process, this uh, generally takes place in the organisms where their demand for oxygen is less. So, demand for the energy produced is less. So, these bacteria and yeast, they can survive with this small amount of energy produced, whereas in higher organisms this process is not sufficient. So today we have studied the first part of the respiration, which involves glycolysis followed by the anaerobic fate of the pyruvic acid. In the next class we will study details about the aerobic respiration, the steps involved in aerobic respiration.